one thing I will say is I've got some very clear, very visible social skills issues. Obviously I'm shy. I don't pick up on certain things. And maybe if someone doesn't want me, I like to know why or whatever. And I don't know when people want me. That's the thing. I was at one of the pawn shops and, showing this lady a ring who was probably 3-4 years older. And one of the other guys was like, geez, you didn't go after that. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? I showed someone a ring and they didn't want to buy it. So, obviously some of the smaller, little more refined nuances I struggle with, of course. And I know when I have, feelings of attraction to somebody, I don't know how to go in on it. Obviously, beyond, especially when it has to do with something that I've been so conflicted with growing up. Another thing is when I was in high school, I dealt with a lot of bullying, and I obviously engaged and, fought back too. And there was a lady, Miss Michaels, who was, one of the special ed people, and, David Barta was, I'll get into that in a second, but he was also in special ed. He was, especially in middle school, we were all together, and then in high school, he just started doing stuff that was not good, and that will come in a second. But one time I was outside of, Mr., Moser's science class, right before, class, and he came over and was starting, flicking and, twisting my nipples, just doing that, asking if I liked that, and I just said, no, stop. And the point is, that was obviously when a lot of the guys, they like to act like they were smoking. They did like that thing where they like hold their breath in and they're able to like make their mouth look like it's smoke, you know what I mean? And he was doing that too, and obviously I didn't like that. But that Miss Michaels lady said, you're misperceiving everything. And obviously being a 15-year-old guy, I wasn't as smug, back then as I am now about this stuff. But obviously I was just basically, you think I'm having tactile hallucinations of a unique individual who I encounter frequently at this school? I mean, that's obviously an honest question, because I know that happened, and I'm very good at perceiving, intentions, attitudes, and obviously agendas and desires. The big things are easy to, piece apart. I knew that was alluring. I knew it was a sting. David Barta, he unfortunately raped a woman at a party in Bloomington. He did some time at St. Cloud. I don't know if he's still there or not. And honestly, like I said, I hope that, and maybe, what he did to me maybe means that what was done to her, wasn't as bad. Because I know he didn't finish what he intended to do. That's what I heard. So maybe what he's done growing up got enough of that out. And obviously for me, it didn't scar me as much as it would have scarred her. But the point is, I know intention. And I think that when you start playing games and start denying, the credibility and what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what it's doing is not right either. I'm not going to be, wheeled off when, in order to wheel me off, you have to make me sit down too. You know what I mean? And I think there's something to be said about that. That David Barta guy, what he did was horrible. He probably ruined that girl's mental health for probably a decade. I mean, any boyfriend that would date her is going to have an issue with her. Not an issue with her, but he's going to have to deal with, her issues from what that guy did. And that guy is going to get out of that parole or whatever and just be out and about bumming around. And yet again, a boyfriend of, her is going to have to deal with what he did. Probably maybe even see him around the community. Who knows? But the point is that I know this stuff. And that David, the night he did that, before he did that, he might have been socially astute. Probably more socially astute than I ever will be in my entire life. He probably could get, someone like Ben Fearon or Gavin Sims to be, crossing hands, like, sup, bro, but doesn't make them a good person. I feel like I should be heard and understood.